morning, Chicago, and how are you? I want to welcome you to our second edition, our second show of the Institute for Justice, Green Slate Institute for Justice. I want to thank the staff here at CAN TV. I want to thank the staff at the Institute for Justice. Thank Bob, Jan Kowalski, Buck, Troy. I don't know where you are. Carlos, don't know where you are, but thank you all also. I want to go over as to tell you, first of all, what is it that the institution does? What is it that Green Slate Institute does? You might want to grab a pen and a paper because I'm going to give you 3 major projects that we're working on. And those of you who are interested in getting in touch with us, we'll give you a number also. And then you can also participate and be involved in the Green Slate Institute time here at CAN TV. You can call by that number right on there, 312-738-1060. Now, we have a couple of major projects that we're working on. Oh, forgot. People who have lost their lives to violence and to here in the city, state, and county. We always have a moment of silence for them. And I apologize for that. Let's have a moment of silence for people who have lost their lives to gang violence here in the city, state, and the county. Let's have a moment of silence. Thank you. I gotta get me a makeup person. Y'all gotta help me get myself together. Okay, let's get into the show now. First of all, Gator Bradley. Gator Bradley was calling me. Gator, I don't know if Gator was supposed to have been on the show or not, but Gator just called me and I want to find out what that's about. But those of you, there's 4 things we're going to talk about today. As you can see, I'm a little bit. Gator, what's going on? Okay, I'm on the show, Gator. You want to talk on the show or what? I'm live right now. Okay, why don't you call in, Gator? Let's talk. 312-738-1060. Call me and let's talk, Gator. 312-378-1060. Those of you who want to call in and start the conversation off, you're free to do that. Again, that's 312-738-1060. Be calling in. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. Okay, let's talk. Here's 3 things that the Green Slate Institute is interested in, and primarily what we try to do at the Green Slate Institute. Here's the first one, the Green Slate Institute. We are in the process of implementing. Let's talk about judges, those people who run for office. They're running for office now. You see people out there putting petitions on the street to get elected, and judges are asking you to behold and trust them to that they'll do a good job. So what happens here in this situation is very simple. They're passing petitions. We have a caller. Let's take the caller. Caller, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how are you?
I'm blessed. How you feeling?
Hey, you sound like the great interpreter, Gator Bradley.
Yeah, the translator, the urban translator.
Urban translator. Now, you're the translator.
Yes,
Theo is the interpreter, and I'm the motivator.
That's what I'm talking about.
What's been going on with you, Gator? How's things going out there on the campaign trail?
Everything is going real well. There's a beautiful story that was in today's Defender newspaper by Mary Dasher in reference to the debate that was held by the teachers union?
Yeah.
The Chicago Teachers Union. It was a fantastic debate. The issue that was at hand, one of the issues is where everyone tried to make it like mannequins and burials is a problem for prison. So I gave a quote within the story and said that all those up there as Democratic candidates that's running for the race, whomever becomes the nominee, he got to respect the leadership of the state Democratic chairman, the Cook County Democratic chairman, and the other Democratic chairmen across the state. So what they gonna say? We don't want mannequins. We don't want burials. Then you need to be in the Republican primary.
Bottom line.
You know
What
what I'm
else is
saying?
going on in the street out there, Gator?
Hey, man, the thing that's happening out here, too, Zip, is my understanding that from the meeting that Mark Allen had May 18th, where he had about 40 vendors come to the National Black Wall Street, Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
was dealing with the issue that everyone that's running for office has to spend money with the minority vendors, be
Mm-hmm.
they poll watchers, be they poll takers, be they urban translators, political consultants. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Be the black media. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, out that meeting, Black Bank ended up getting $1 million. Okay? By the grace of God, I'm now working.
Gator, are you working with, has anybody picked up your contract? Are you working with any campaign
Yeah,
right now?
yeah, Pritzker's campaign.
Oh, so you with the Pritzers.
Correct.
Okay, that's good. So at least
Okay.
they are being receptive to the community then.
Right. They're becoming now because there was an issue put out that they weren't spending money with the black media in light of the fact of the money that I spent doing the Buck Benson Day parade by being wise enough to make sure that my candidate was in the Chicago Defender
I saw that.
doing
I
the
saw
Buck
that.
Benson Day parade. And
I
I
saw
said,
that you had taken out an ad in the Defender, and I noticed that the candidate themselves did not do that. That was sort of
right,
strange. What made you do that?
correct. So it ain't just Pritzker. There's 8 candidates. Still didn't even buy ads in the African American paper. If I'd have had more money, I might have brought ads in all the black media.
Gator, let me ask you something. You've been out in the community for a long time. Let me ask you a question, Gator Bradley. We have Gator Bradley on the line. Gator Bradley is associated with United in Peace, and he has a group that is interpreter. Is that the proper word, Gator Bradley?
Urban translators.
Urban Translator. Let me ask you a question. One of the things that the Institute for Justice is pushing, Gator Bradley, we have Gator Bradley on the line, is judges who are running for re-election and judges that are running for office, we want their name at the front of the ballot. So normally when you vote and you get for the aldermans and the county and the state reps and all of those other people, and then at the very end, you get to vote for the judges. But guess what? You will probably see a judge before you see an alderman, before you see a mayor, and definitely before you meet a president.
You're right, hey, Zip, and you're right. Even those who get elected to office, including the president, got to deal with the judge. So I agree with you.
So one of the things Green Slate Institute for Justice would like to see happen, and we're starting the process of talking to some people who can help us with policy, is getting the judges' names at the front of the ballot. Let me tell you something else that the Green Slate Institute is working on, Mr. Bradley, and see if we can get your opinion on this. Say I had $5,000 worth of tickets that I owed the city, and I'm not able to pay it. I'm on a fixed income. The Green Slate Institute for Justice is proposing with policy that you be allowed to do community service for that amount of money. What do you think of that, Mr. Bradley?
Hey, that's a good idea because I pretty much thought that's what the SWAT thing was doing. When you saw the individuals out there picking up the paper and
Well, SWAT, that's a little different. That's if you committed a misdemeanor crime, then they'll give you time for, to do cleaning up the streets. But we want to say the same thing. If I owe for tickets and I just cannot pay, there's people who owe hundreds of thousands of dollars to the city. I figure, and we have had discussions, that if I owe money like that to the city, why can't I get out and clean up the streets, maybe work with the streets of sanitation or something? What do you think, Gator?
I agree with you, okay, because that would help. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that would help an individual get out of a bind. You know
And can you imagine the workers that the city would have, the number of workforce that they would have working in alleys and cleaning streets up and painting viaducts?
You know what, though? But the reason that the city won't do that still,
Why is that?
because that's a revenue source and a screen for them. The reason that they do it with the SWAT team, with SWAT, because check it out. It costs an individual $100 a day to eat in there. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if they kept the individual who's doing SWAT in there, it would be eating up a big share of the county budget.
Okay, well, let me ask you about the third thing. Now, let me go back over for those of you who have just joined us. I have Gator Bradley on the line. Gator Bradley is from the Urban Interpreters. Did I say it right that time?
Translator, man. Hey, man. Hey, let me help you.
Urban Translators, Ziff. And Mr. Bradley has been in the community for quite a few years. So the thing I asked Mr. Bradley was, what was his opinion on judges being moved to the front of the ballot? And the second thing we asked him about, if I owe the city $5,000 in tickets, can I do, Ron Emanuel, the city of Chicago, the city council, can I do some community service for you guys? Help out at a daycare center, work at the streets of sanitation or something like that. Now, Gator, hit this hill. Let me hit you with this last one and see what you think about this. You have a Department of Correction. You have a Department of Public Aid. You have a Department of Health. Why do you need a city of Chicago Department of Elections? Why do you need a Cook County election? And why do you need a Board of Elections? A state Board of Election, a county Board of Election, and a city Board of Election? I think something's wrong with that.
Because you got county offices, you got city offices, you got state offices. And right now, behind what happened with the 2016 election and the hacking of the different, let's say 21 states, their election files were hacked.
Okay, but Gator, our proposal in policy is, why can't we just have one Board of Election? Why do we have to have multiple levels of Board of Election? The County Board of Election, $4 million. City Board of Election, $4 million. State Board of Election, $9 million. Why do we need all this here, Gator Bradley? Will you please tell me, sir, please?
Hey, Zip, I don't know.
If I got in trouble and went to jail, they're not going to send me to the city county jail, the state county jail, and the state, city, and county. They're going to send me to one Department of Correction. Why can't we have one Board of Elections? Why can't, if I owe the city money for tickets and I know I'm on fixed income, I cannot pay, why can't the city let me pay community service to pay for that? Why do we have to have the judges who are more important? The president, he can send me to jail, but he probably won't. But a judge can send my butt to jail. I need to meet that judge.
Hey, Zip, all I can tell you is this. Just like it's a county jail, just like it's a city jail, a county jail, and a state penitentiary. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They may need all three of those levels of Board of Elections. That's all I can tell you.
Well, Bruce Rauner just signed, when you go in and get your license now, Bruce Rauner signed a bill that once you get your license now you're automatically registered to vote.
Well, the reason he signed that bill is because it was going to become the law automatically, I believe, August 29th. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So he just signed that to give people the feeling that he's really concerned about voter registration.
Okay.
And how really African Americans are the only ones that got to come back every 20 years to explain why they ought to have a right to vote.
Yes.
Everybody else don't have to explain that. They automatically get a right to vote.
Let me ask you something, Mr. Bradley, Gator Bradley, the gentleman who's been out in the community for quite a while. Let me ask you something. The race for about the taxes, the pop tax. You want to bring him on in? Caller, can you hear me?
You know what?
Caller, can you hear me?
Yes. Can
Hi,
you hear me?
how are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, listen. When Gator was on, I watched all of his shows. I'm his buddy Ray. But
When who was on?
when Mr. Gator was on
Yes,
TV,
Mr. Gator. Wow.
I
So I'm
used
gonna
to
be
watch
Mr.
the
Ziff
show.
Gator.
Pardon?
Go ahead. I'm listening, sir. I'm sorry.
Oh, I used to call his show every week.
Did you?
He knows me, really.
Wonderful. So, what do you think about the three proposals that the Institute for Justice has proposed? If I owe community service out, if I owe money to the city for tickets, I'm asking the city to let me do community service because I can't pay it. And then what do you think about judges being voted on first? And then the last thing about one voting apparatus instead of three? Okay, well, I just thought I'd throw that out if you had a chance to respond to that. But those are three of the things that the Green Slate Institute for Justice. Oh, we got a caller. Caller, this is Ziff Sistrunk, and you're live. Go. Caller. Caller, if you call back in, I'll talk to you.
I'm calling you.
Okay, I'm here, sir. Go ahead.
I'm talking to you. Okay. Listen, nothing's going to change in this city. Nothing. You know why? Money runs this city.
Who?
That's why you have all them governments.
Who runs the city?
Government for this government for this, and this government for this. Money. It's their nieces and nephews and people like that that are on it. But the thing I wanted to talk to you about is this. No matter who you put in there, nothing's going to change until you get rid of these people that we put in office right now, from the mayor all the way down. For the last 10 years, that's all they talk about. Crime, this. And has anything changed? Not a thing. The only thing that's changed is it got worse.
Let me tell you about a story. A gentleman named, I'm not going to say his name. There's a case in Cook County Jail with Judge William Boyd. Would you believe this father wants to see his son? This is just one of the cases that we've tracked down. This father wants to see his son. Judge Boyd will not rule on an order of protection. Those of you who are in the legal community, you know that you're supposed to rule on an order of protection within a week. Judge Boyd refuses to rule on an order of protection. Subsequently, the client, who is in Boyd's court, have not seen his son, are you ready for this? Hopefully you're sitting down, for 52 weeks. He have not seen his son, but guess what? He has seen an psychologist, but he's not seen his dad. So subsequently what we've learned up in the Cook County domestic violence courts is there a pay-to-play program with the guardians, the public guardians, where judges are being appointing their guardians to oversee the couple that is at divorce with the child that's involved. That's where the public guardian comes in at. And guess how much money the public guardian makes?
Okay.
$500 an hour.
Do you agree with me?
And what am I supposed to agree with?
Well, I'm going to let you know. Do you agree with me that all of that stuff, all these boards and stuff are run with money? If you don't,
well, we can't use monopoly money, so we have to use some. But I think what we have to do is make them accountable. I think what happened the other day with
that's never going to happen.
Well,
that for the last 20 years, and it's only gotten worse. So how can you sit up there and say accountability? This state and this city hasn't had accountability for the last 25 years, and you're going to sit up there and tell
there
me
has to be something we can do. There has to be something we can do.
Pardon?
There has to be something we can do.
There is something you can do. Vote all these people out and put the people that are supposed to be in there.
Vote, 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 vote. Oaks for votes. How's that? No economic oaks for economic votes. This gentleman, so you're saying that if they're not going to capitulate and bring down some of the taxes, I mean, it's ridiculous. They're going to start charging us to breathe for air. The sidewalks, if you walk down the sidewalk, you're going to have to start paying for those blocks that you walk down. We're going to have to do something.
Whose vote put them in there? Our vote put them in there. Our vote could take them out.
Yes.
Am I right?
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So we all got to participate. We all got to get involved. And one of the things our caller is saying that it's money that drives the politicians, and there is something that we can do. And the one thing he said we can do is vote them out. So that's what
the easiest and the fastest way to get them out of there.
Good. Well, I'm so glad that you called, and I'm so glad that you're an avid listener of CAN TV. I'm glad that you called when Gator Bradley was on the show, and I would hope that you would stay with me. This is only our second show,
My
and those
man,
are.
I'm gonna call every week.
Wow, that's right. Good. That means that you're a Zip Man fan.
And I'm gonna tell my friends about this show too.
Wonderful. I'm so glad that you're here to support us. Any other concerns that you have with your local politicians?
Yes. One other one. They always talk about jobs. Downtown Chicago, they have millions and hundreds of millions of dollars of jobs. Not one African American, not one Hispanic construction company is not down there. They have workers, but they have no control of anything.
Wow.
That's crazy. And you tell the politicians, and you know what they say? Well, we're trying. You've been trying for the last 25 years. You're behind, shouldn't be there.
I'm gonna go home and write a song about we're trying. Let's see if I can come up with a couple of lines for us. No African American, no Hispanics. We're gonna give you a job. Just hold on. We just keep on trying. We keep on trying. We keep on trying. How's that?
That's good. If you don't want to get anywhere, why can't we own a construction company down there working? Oh no, that'd be too much to ask them. That'd be too much to ask.
How long you've been in this city?
Let me see. I'm 69 years old. I've been here 69 years.
Wow.
And nothing has changed. So don't tell me I don't know. You go down there for a job, you can get a job, but you can't get a company in there.
Wow.
Am I right?
You're right. Well, we're going to have to do something about that to start changing things. I think one of the things we're going to have to do is people are going to have to start registering. And not only start registering, I think you need to find out why you're registering and who you're registering for and what is the purpose of registering.
That's right, sir. Thank you so much. I'm going to hang up now. Thank you for your patience. And I'll be calling next week and have a few more things to talk about. And I'll try to answer them too.
And thank you for listening. We appreciate you here. And you're watching the Institute for Justice. This is Ziff. As we get ready to wind it down, again, I want to thank you all. This is the Institute for Justice. And what have we talked about? We had Gator Bradley on today, and we had one of our famous gentlemen who's always watching us. My mom always say, if a task once begun, never leave it till it's done. Bit the label, big or small. Do it well or not at all. We'll see you next week. This has been Ziff Sistrunk, Z-Man. Thank you, and go in peace.